Hey everyone, welcome to Tales of Cindy, where I talk about my life. Today's topic is going to be religion and how me coming out as gay has affected my relationship with religion. So sorry that it's in my car. I went for a drive to think about it. I've been thinking about this video for quite a while, but pretty hardcore the last week or so. And I've had a lot of anxiety unrelated to this video, but this video has also added to that, and I decided that today I was just going to get it over with, so I went for a drive. So here, we're in my car, and I know that's not most ideal, but, you know, I get some privacy, and we get to talk. This topic is a little bit difficult for me, mostly because I feel like there's no way that I can have this conversation without offending somebody. And I don't really like offending people. I'm very honest, but I also, I like making people happy. And so the fact that I am creating a video that will probably make some people unhappy, is a little bit of a challenge for me. This video has been requested by multiple people, in the comment section. And it's one that I felt like I needed to do anyway, is discuss my relationship with religion and how that has been affected by me coming out as gay, because it's completely different. It's completely different. Where I stand with religion today is completely different than where I was 3 months ago. Coming out as gay did not change my opinion of God or my relationship with Jesus Christ. I still feel like those are strong and real and there. I feel like Jesus is still my Jesus, right? He's still my Savior. I still feel like God is there and He has been directing me and helping me in my life the way that He has before. Matter of fact, I see Him doing it in timing of things in other areas, like helping me find out I was gay at the time that I did, and along the journey, people I've met and things like that. I see God's hand in that. So my relationship with God and Jesus are the same, but my relationship with religion is completely different. Completely different. Many people have guessed it, but I grew up as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or commonly referred to as Mormons. Yeah, I was the good Mormon girl. That's how I live my life. And in the structure of Mormonism, being gay is almost treated like it's an affliction. Same-sex attraction is how they call it. And it's treated like those poor souls who have same-sex attraction. You're not considered unworthy for having the feelings. You're considered unworthy for acting on the feelings. As long as I lived my life never acting on the fact that I'm gay, my relationship with the church could have remained the same. And I know that there are many people in the LGBTQ category in the church who have chosen that route, or at least try that route for some period of time before choosing a different route. Because if you choose to act on your feelings, you lose everything. And this is what I mean. If I date a woman, I no longer can participate in the most holy things in the LDS church. Any of them. I can attend church all I want. We don't ever ban anybody from attending church in the Mormon doctrine, right? But I will not be allowed to take the sacrament, which is basically what's taught as the primary reason for attending church. All the other stuff is bonus. Add to that, Mormons believe in the temple, and the temple is considered a really sacred, holy place. I actually really like the temple. I like it a lot. I feel peace in the temple. I really struggled with it before they changed some wording issues. But I also still felt peace. It was this weird dichotomy. Once they changed some of the wording, which they did not this January, but the January before, I have really enjoyed going to the temple. I've really liked it. It has been a place of peace and comfort for me. I am no longer allowed to attend the temple. I am no longer allowed to participate in any of the most sacred and holy things because I'm acting on the fact I'm gay. All of those are taken away from me completely. Now, if those were like bonus things in the church, maybe that would be doable. However, the entire narrative of the church is about getting you to the temple and being worthy to attend the temple and eternal families, which happen through the temple. I am denied an eternal family. And I'm denied my access to the temple because I act on the feelings that I'm gay. Members of the church will argue that I'm the one who's giving that up because I'm choosing to act on those feelings, because I'm sinning. So I'm voluntarily giving that up. However, here's the problem. I don't believe in a God. I cannot believe in a God who would say that the one thing that has the most potential to make you happy in this life is banned from you forever just because you were born a certain way. I can't believe in that God. I refuse to believe in that God. If I'm wrong and that is who God is, I don't want to go to that heaven. I cannot believe that a merciful, loving God would say, I made you a certain way, and because I made you that way, you're now going to have to choose between the temple and lifetime happiness. That just doesn't fit my understanding of who God is. And maybe I'm wrong, but like I said, if I'm wrong, I don't really want to be with that God. I don't. I was talking to a teenager about this, a teenager who's a member of the church, and they said that it doesn't make sense for God to say that the one thing that's most important, which is marriage and family in the LDS church, that's the most important thing, would be denied to every single person who is gay. That God would say, yeah, this is the most important thing, and you can never have it. And I agreed with him 100%. I've had this standpoint for a long time. But it was easier when I could pretend like it didn't really affect me, because I was able to sit in my comfy seat at church and say, I disagree with the 12 apostles. I disagree with the leaders of the church. I disagree with how they're handling same-sex marriage, homosexuality. I could sit righteously in my seat and disagree with them till the sun went down, and it didn't matter. I could still attend all my meetings. I could still do everything. They even came out a while ago and said that you can disagree with them on this policy and attend the temple. So I got to sit in my nice, happy little thing and keep going to church and keep doing all the things that I always wanted to do. And I could disagree with them and live my life just disagreeing, and it was fine. But the moment I came out as gay, that dynamic changed. I cannot anymore disagree with them, honor myself, and just keep going about life as normal. I can't do it. I have to choose between the church and myself. And so I chose myself because I feel like that's what God would want me to do. One of my favorite doctrines in Mormon church, in the Mormon doctrine, is one of personal revelation. We believe in a God who talks to us. I think he talks to all of us in the way that we hear, right? So each of us hears it differently. I don't think there's one sure and fast way that you feel the Spirit, or one sure and fast way that God speaks to you. I think most of the time he's speaking to us, we're completely unaware he's speaking to us. It just sounds so natural to hear that voice in our head or those thoughts because we know him. But if that doctrine is true and personal revelation is true, then I can get personal revelation for my life. And my personal revelation for my life is that I am supposed to take care of me. I think I'm going to make mistakes. I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes. But here's another one of my favorite Mormon doctrines, but one that they misunderstand a lot of the time. Mormons believe that we fought a war in heaven for our right to make mistakes. That's not how it's portrayed in Mormonism. Most of the time we talk about agency, our right to choose. That's how they talk about it. Mormons feel like they fought the war in heaven for their right to choose. Sure. But what were they choosing? They were choosing to have the ability to make mistakes. I have a right to make mistakes. That's why I'm here, is because I chose the right to make mistakes, right? According to Mormon doctrine. So yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna make mistakes. But there's one thing I know is not a mistake, and that is me honoring the fact I am gay. I have had personal revelation and a feeling and burning testimony in my heart that I am supposed to be a gay woman, that I was born on this earth as a lesbian for a reason. And if that's true, then why on earth would I choose to not listen to that revelation? So I'm going to trust myself. The problem is because I disagreed with the church on one doctrine. I am now banned from basically all activity in the church. I can attend church where I'm going to have to sit there and listen to them talk about how wrong and evil I am. That doesn't sound like a great idea to me personally. But I cannot participate in anything because I disagreed on one doctrine. I'll never be allowed to enter the temple, and I'll never be able to take the sacrament again unless I stop dating women. I could do everything by the book besides that, right? I could wait to have sex until I was married. I could follow the word of wisdom and not drink my coffee and tea and alcohol. I could do everything by the book, and it wouldn't matter. If I marry a woman, the second I go down that route, I'm banned from all of those activities over one doctrine. There is a reason that there's a sharp fall off of members of the church right now, particularly of my generation. Late Gen X, millennials, and younger are having a really, really hard time with the church. And the number one reason that most of them I've talked to have said that they started to question everything was over same-sex marriage and how it's handled. If the church doesn't figure out a better way to handle this, they're going to keep losing members. They might gain members in other areas, but especially in the Western world, they're just going to keep losing members because one doctrine is all it takes to make everything else unravel. And part of that problem is because of how the church treats these things. We always talk in the church, and I know one thing to be true, therefore everything else must also be true. So if that is the attitude that we approach, then you have this opposite problem. If I know this one thing is not true, then is anything else true? I personally believe that this can be false, but this can be true. There are certain Mormon doctrines that, despite the fact that I came out as gay and I realized that I have no place in the LDS church, I still believe in. And I know there's people who think I'm crazy for that. I have people who care about me probably who think I'm crazy for that. And that's okay. I don't care. I still believe them. Because I don't believe it's all or nothing. I don't believe any organization has all of the truth. and that any organization on this earth is perfect. So I will stand here, feet on the ground, haha, as I sit in my car. I will sit here, I suppose, and say that I believe that they're wrong. That same-sex marriage is not a sin. That doesn't mean that everything else is also wrong. I can still retain my belief in Jesus Christ the way that I learned of him from the Book of Mormon and from the Gospels. I can still retain that and say they're wrong. I don't believe in all or nothing. I don't believe in infallible prophets. Matter of fact, if you look at the prophets of the Old Testament, oh man, those guys are fallible. They're so screwed up all the time, making mistakes. That's what I think prophets do. They do the best they can. They have communication with God, but they also make mistakes. Mistakes are human, and prophets are human. I believe in personal revelation. And I believe that my personal revelation trumps whatever I'm told. Because without my personal revelation, I don't know any of the rest of it's true anyway. There's no point in following any of it without personal revelation. So I believe in my personal revelation. So when I came out as gay, actually before I came out as gay, when I accepted the fact I was gay, I was on my way. I was sitting in my car, driving to my friend's house. And I had the thought, okay, if this goes down one of the ways you think it might go down, and you and Chris get a divorce, you're going to date women. And if you date women, you have no place in the church. Then what? And I started to think about all the other things in the church that just, I don't care, don't matter to me, or I don't think really belong the way they are. Like, I like the word of wisdom the way it's discussed in the Doctrine and Covenants, because it's basically about moderation and taking care of your body. That sounds great. I think the way that it's been interpreted and it's being pushed right now is ridiculous, and that there's absolutely zero way that that should be attached to temple attendance. Like, there's no way that I think God would say, oh, you drink green tea, so you can't participate in the most holy of sacred ceremonies that I have. That just doesn't make sense to me. And I already felt that way. That was one of the doctrines I struggled with. So I was like, great. If I go down that route and I can't attend the temple anyway, I'm drinking my green tea because I like green tea a lot. And I can drink coffee if I want to. And alcohol's not off the table. I don't like tobacco. It's disgusting. That sounds like a bad idea. But these things are now on the table that weren't there. What other things? I think modesty is a cultural construct, at least in terms of how we dress. I think modesty and how we dress is basically a cultural construct, right? Like in the 1800s, we were freaking out when women showed their ankles. We were worried men couldn't control themselves if women showed their ankles. Even in the last 60 years, right? When my mom was in high school, the first year she was in high school, girls weren't allowed to wear pants because that was immodest, right? Modesty standards always are changing. Always, always, always. It's essentially a cultural construct. So if I don't care about if I can't attend the temple and I'm not worthy to wear my garments anyway, I don't care. I'm going to wear my tank tops. I like them. They're comfortable. What else, right? It starts to unravel the whole thing based on this one doctrine. I would have followed all of those rules. That's the funny thing, is I would have followed all of them. Even though I disagreed with them, I would have followed them just for the ability to attend the temple. Yet it was taken away from me because I'm gay. And I don't feel bad. I feel sad that there's people out there who believe that God would deny me an opportunity to sit on his right hand because of something he gave me. Whether you're Mormon or just a general Christian, it doesn't matter. If you believe that being gay is a sin, or acting on gay feelings is a sin, then you're saying, because of what God gave me, I'm not allowed to sit on his right hand. I'm not allowed to participate the full benefits of heaven. I don't know, but when I read about Jesus in the New Testament, There's no way that I think he wouldn't want me at that table. I can't believe in a God who wouldn't want me at that table just because I'm gay. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And you know what? I might be wrong. But I might be wrong about all of it. I might be wrong that there even is a God. All I know is I'm going to live my life the best I can live, and I'm going to live it in a way that I don't hurt other people. And living my life in denial of the truths that I know can hurt people. So I'm going to stand up and say, I believe the brethren are wrong. And I know it doesn't affect me as much as it might affect some people because I'm already basically out of the church anyway, because I'm gay. But I'm not going to sit here quiet about any of this ever again. Where I see things being wrong, I'm going to say something, because that's the only way to keep people from being hurt. I used to think that I could just sit by and live my best life and not actively hurt people, and that was enough. But I was wrong. Not actively hurting people is not enough. You have to proactively try to not hurt them. Letting people around you say things that are hurtful without countering it is also hurtful. There's sins that you do, and there's sins of things you don't do. Right? Sins of omission. I think sitting back and doing nothing, being passive, is a sin of omission. And I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. Where I see fallacies, I'm going to call people out. Because the discomfort of hearing that somebody disagrees with you is less than hearing that your identity is worthless in the eyes of God. I'm going to apply this with broad strokes to so much more than just religion conversations. I'm going to apply it to everything, particularly relating to the LGBTQIA+ family. Because there's still rights that have not been achieved, or that were achieved and have been taken away. And I'm not going to sit back and just watch these things happen anymore. There's one thing Mormonism did teach me, and it was how to stand with unpopular opinions, even when people are making fun of me. So I'm going to take that, and I'm probably going to use it a different way than the Mormons want me to. But here's the reality. I can do more good by using my voice than I can sitting back and doing nothing. So I don't really have a home in religion right now. I don't really like being called a Christian, even though I believe in Jesus Christ and that he's the savior and redeemer of the world. Even though I fit that box, I could check it. I don't like being called a Christian because in America, mainstream Christianity has been so hurtful to my fellow queer friends. I don't like being called a Mormon because I feel like they kicked me out, even though I believe in so many of the doctrines still. I'm just me, and I believe what I believe, and that's okay. I'm here. I don't need a home in religion in order to be spiritual. Me and God are good, even if religion doesn't want me. So that's my story on religion and how coming out as gay has changed everything. And I'll talk to you guys later.